It's the Backyard Brawl, Pittsburgh and West Virginia. NASDAQ College Football on CBS.
Pitt entered the 1997 Backyard Brawl with different stakes than they'd had for many years. Instead of simply wanting to beat a hated rival, this time Pitt was playing for bowl eligibility. This could be their first bowl since the 1989 Sun Bowl, called the John Hancock Bowl that year. They were at 3-3 in the Big East, putting them at 4th place with a head-to-head win over Miami, but the Big East only had 4 bowl slots in those days. So Pitt would not only have to win this game against the rival Mountaineers, they'd have to hope for Miami to lose to Syracuse the following day. In these days, bowls picked 1 through 4 not based on standings, but based on personal preference, and the Hurricanes would be a bigger draw than the Panthers ever could be. And West Virginia had much to play for too. If they beat the Panthers, not only would they be knocking off a hated rival, but they'd have a chance to go to the Fiesta Bowl if Miami beat Syracuse the following day. Even if they lost, the Gator Bowl chairman, John Harrison, was on hand to watch the game, maybe scouting the Mountaineers for his prestigious bowl. The Panthers had been something of a surprise team in 1997. Walt Harris had guided them to a 5-5 record, which was much more than expected, and just the previous week, they'd knocked off number 15 Virginia Tech. The Panthers seemed to be peaking at the right time, and the question wasn't really if they were a better team than they started the season or a better team than they had been for years past. It was if they'd gotten better in time to make a bowl game. Of course, West Virginia would be a difficult task. They were led by running back Amos Zaraway, who was touted as a Heisman hopeful for the next season. Beyond that, it'd also be going into the difficult road environment of Morgantown, a loud stadium, and raucous fans.
We are ready for Big East football action, the final regular season game between the Pittsburgh Panthers and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Pittsburgh at 5-5 and the Mountaineers at 7-3.
As the Mountaineers entered the stadium, Pitt fans at home would be reminded of 2 facts. First, the Mountaineers had the better record, and second, it'd been 5 years since Pitt beat them. Pitt then entered the stadium to a chorus of boos.
Well, the boos greet the visitors in this Backyard Brawl, the Panthers from Pittsburgh.
While West Virginia had Amos Zaraway, Pitt had Pete Gonzalez on the opposing sideline. He'd thrown 25 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. If he could get to 29 touchdowns today, he'd set a Big East record. And he'd have to be very good, because just last season, West Virginia had beat Pitt 34-0 in Pittsburgh. As the West Virginia offense took the field, they had one more way to stack the deck against the Panthers. They were 7-0 when the first play was a pass, and so it was no surprise to see Mark Bulger drop back for the first play.
And Zaraway stuffed.
The Panthers' plan on defense was very clear, very early. Don't let Amos Zaraway win the game. Instead, they'd let Mark Bulger do the work, and on the first drive, he and the West Virginia skill players seemed more than equal to it. The best evidence that the Panthers' plan might be successful was when Bulger missed deep early on in that same drive. Of course, it wasn't even clear that Bulger had to go deep to win the game. The Panthers remained undaunted and continued to focus on making sure Zaraway wasn't able to get anything up the middle.
Second and goal from the 6. Zaraway trying it wide, and he is in. Touchdown.
When the Mountaineers went outside, they found the space Zaraway had been looking for and made the score 7-0 in favor of the home team. As Pistol Pete trotted out onto the field, the Panthers made some self-inflicted wounds. It was 2nd and 21 before he took matters into his own hands.
Gonzalez flush from the end zone. He'll take off running. Gets a block from West.
Now he gets a great block by Barlow in the hole. Now turns on the speed to the outside. You know why he's outrunning West Virginia? Because he's got fresh legs.
Pitt had seemed to find success on the ground, but when they went to the air, the tide turned against them.
Good fake. And it is picked up by Tompkins at the 9.
As the Panthers forced a punt, they were able to turn disaster into opportunity.
give us to West. He's got a lot of room. West hit at the one, but into the end zone. Touchdown.
West's touchdown electrified the fans who'd made the trip from Pittsburgh, and there were quite a few of them. These fans had something in common with the players on scholarship. They might have been going up against a possible Bowl Lions team, West Virginia, but they believed.
Again, shakes off 2 tacklers, but they swarm him down again.
After a punt, Pitt's offense got back on the field, and Kevin Barlow showed what he could do compared to Amos Zaraway.
That's Barlow, and Barlow breaks down to the 35-yard line.
The Panthers had momentum now, and on the next play, Pistol Pete delivered a ball that'd be good on Sundays. After the catch, the drive kept going. It wasn't long until Pete Gonzalez delivered another classic throw.
Short drop from Gonzalez. Touchdown, Hoffert.
Pitt led 14-7 at the end of the first quarter, with a stunned audience in Morgantown wondering how this Pitt Panthers team was keeping up with their Mountaineers. And you can't really blame them for thinking it. As far as they knew, this Pitt team was not very talented.
Defensive coordinator for West Virginia, Steve Dunlap, and he said, Pittsburgh isn't the most talented team, but they believe. Well, guess what the team slogan is? We'll see if we believe by the end of today. Back to you, Tim.
With the ball once again, West Virginia leaned on Amos Zaraway and did break off a big run. But despite this big play, as a whole, West Virginia was failing to run the football. Anyone watching the stats would see a mirror image of what they expected. Pitt was running the ball well, but West Virginia couldn't get off the blocks. It's also true that in college football, a sack counts for negative rushing yards, and the Panthers could deliver there too.
Taylor. And it is good.
Despite giving up the field goal, Pitt's offense became dormant and the defense was counted on to save the day. They delivered with an interception on the next possession. Once again though, the offense would have to punt. Despite West Virginia's inability to run the football, they decided to go for it on a crucial 4th and 1.
Mark Plants has come in at fullback to join Zaraway in the backfield in the eye. Zaraway hit behind the line and he did not get it. He is dropped for a loss.
Zaraway might have been more talented than anyone on Pitt's defense, maybe even the offense, but Pete Gonzalez could show what a sudden change opportunity can be in football when your team believes, and his 2-minute drive was a thing of beauty.
Good protection again, and that's complete to Murphy. Gonzalez, there's the fade to Murphy. Touchdown.
Pitt fans suffered a scare before the end of the first half, but fortunately, Porter had gone out of bounds and ran back in, and this led to a halftime with some dueling perspectives on the game.
Coach, are you even surprised by the 21-10 score?
No, our kids have played hard the last part of the season. We played hard all year long except for one game, but we prepared to win lately, and that's made the difference.
23 carries, 46 yards for Amos Zaraway. Talk about the defense.
Hey, as long as they play good, we got a chance, and they've been playing their butts off.
Are you rope-a-doping? The defense is bending but not breaking.
A little bit right now, but we just got to do what we got to do to win.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Coach, what'd you tell these guys at halftime?
Wake up. Playing like I don't know what. Pitt's taking our running game away. They're sitting there and just running to the sweeps, and we're too dumb to run at them. We'll run at them a little bit better. We'll play a little better this half.
Good luck.
One thing for sure, we can't play worse.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
This was not a typical game. West Virginia was possessing the football and playing cleanly, and yet they were down by 11 points to Pitt at the half. As they kicked off, this felt like a nightmare game for West Virginia. The question was whether or not they could wake up before the end. Pitt had to punt, and while the defense worked hard and believed, eventually the Amos Zaraway dam would break. And in the second half, it finally began to show signs of crumbling.
Zaraway again, straight ahead, just what Don Nealon said.
Much better blocking by the offensive line of West Virginia, but there's another missed tackle, an arm tackle. But again, it's the way he changes directions.
If anything is true in football, it's that good running sets up good play action, and West Virginia could finally take advantage of it.
This is Zaraway, ran into his old blocker, but breaks a tackle and fights.
Zaraway put it within reach, but the subsequent 2-point conversion made it a field goal game. 21-18 Pitt, with West Virginia catching up. But football is a game of adversity. Eventually, the runs will stop working. It's about how you respond to that adversity that counts. And Pitt was firmly in the facing adversity phase of the game. Billy West's fumble gave West Virginia the ball back, but fortunately the defense held firm and West Virginia was forced to punt. The next time the Pitt offense got on the field, they would not waste the opportunity.
First down. Gonzalez fade pattern. Murphy touchdown.
Murphy's touchdown catch put the Panthers back up by 10 as the third quarter wound down, but it would be short-lived. At this point, Amos Zaraway had officially woken up, and the Pitt defense was having trouble bottling up the elusive runner.
He's had a 100-yard game in his young career, and he's going wide to the right this time, forced out at the 25.
The third quarter ended, and so did Pitt's 10-point lead as Zaraway got into the end zone once again. With the ball back, Pete Gonzalez crucially extended a drive on 3rd and 15 with another beautiful throw and an even better catch. But Gonzalez was not done yet. Later in the drive, he rolled to his left, delivering a strike just feet off the ground to his receiver where only he could catch it, taking a huge hit in the process. Now at 3rd and goal on the 8-yard line, Gonzalez delivered one more time.
Gonzalez to the end zone. Touchdown.
With 29 touchdown passes on the season, Gonzalez owned the Big East record, but the game wasn't over yet. Dropping back, it seemed for certain Bulger's pass was going to be intercepted, but it slipped through the hands of the Panther defender and somehow ended up as a West Virginia touchdown. Pitt had to drive down the field and hold on to the ball, but disaster struck for the Panthers.
That is Holford, and he has a first down. The ball came loose.
West Virginia took the ball and drove down the field, but Pitt's run defense was able to come up strong one more time. With no other good option, Don Nalen was forced to attempt a field goal and to play for overtime.
And Taylor is good.
West Virginia did get the ball back one more time in regulation, and with 4 seconds left, heaved the bomb to the end zone.
Bulger again, waving them downfield, gets lots of time. Deep corner, and that's going to be intercepted.
The pass was incomplete. Pitt had surrendered a 10-point lead to the Mountaineers, and we were in overtime. Would Pitt overcome the adversity? Would they keep believing?
Just missed getting Bulger. Bulger for Foreman, he can't hold on.
The ball was thrown just a little too high for Foreman, and West Virginia would have to attempt a field goal.
Taylor's got 2 already today. That's from the 27, and it's wide.
Pitt now only had to sink a field goal to win the game, and on 3rd and 9, Walt Harris decided to go for the kick.
They're going to kick on 3rd down. Forensic, and it's blocked.
Following the blocked field goal, Pitt would go back on offense, and on 2nd and 13, it seemed all was lost.
Gonzalez to the end zone, intercepted.
With Gonzalez's interception, all West Virginia needed to do was get far enough down the field to kick a field goal. This was time for the Pitt Panther defense to dig in, fight hard, and believe.
Zaraway stumbles, trying to cut wide. Loose ball, taken by Pittsburgh.
Pitt had stopped West Virginia in their tracks by forcing a turnover of their own, and Walt Harris paced the sidelines to a 3rd overtime. On 3rd and 10 from the 25, Bulger dropped back and was hit. It appeared he'd fumbled, but the play was ruled dead. Nevertheless, a long field goal awaited the Mountaineers.
It'll be a 52-yard try. His career long is 47. That was earlier in this game. It is good. Jay Taylor.
With the ball back and needing a field goal to extend the game on 3rd and 8, Pete Gonzalez was hit and sacked at the 32-yard line. When he trotted back onto the field, there was no kicking unit, Pitt would go for it on 4th and 17, testing this team's belief that they'd shown all season.
With a 5-6 record for the season and lose their bowl opportunity. They're not going to attempt to kick it. It would be a 50-yard field goal try. If they did try for it, forensics long, a 49, and as Dave Logan pointed out, he was blocked on an attempt earlier in overtime. So they're going to go for it. They need 17 for a first down. Gonzalez complete. First down.
Even on 4th and 17, this Panther team would not stop believing. By comparison, the once impervious Mountaineer defense now seemed broken.
It is 2nd and 10 from the 13. Gonzalez to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. Terry Murphy, and the Panthers have won it. What a football game. The Pittsburgh Panthers victory here in the Backyard Brawl and a 6-win season. A chance at a bowl game.
I believe you can learn from football. I believe you can learn about hard work, teamwork, overcoming adversity, responding from difficult situations. But if you learn anything from the 1997 Pitt Panthers team and their performance in the Backyard Brawl, it's the power of belief. Belief in yourself, belief in what you can accomplish, and never giving up. That's who the 1997 Pitt Panthers team was, and that's why they defeated the West Virginia Mountaineers, even on 4th and 17. Whereas giving up a 4th and 17 might have broken some teams, this Pitt team never gave up.
Well, all I can say is those who sat home and watched this saw a wonderful football game by two teams that just playing their hearts out. And I think that's what's so great about college football. And we're tremendously thankful. We're tremendously thankful that we're able to pull it out.
Congratulations, Coach.